Most people don't lose control suddenly. They lose it slowly, silently, every day. And the worst part is, they believe this weakness is normal. It isn't. Mental weakness is not a personality flaw. It is a psychological condition created over time. No one is born mentally weak. Weakness is trained. From childhood, the human mind is shaped not for strength, but for comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels easy. But comfort slowly destroys mental resilience. The brain adapts to whatever environment it lives in. If it lives in struggle, it becomes sharp. If it lives in ease, it becomes fragile. Most people live in ease. They avoid discomfort. They escape pain. They distract themselves when things get difficult. And over time, their tolerance collapses. This is the first layer of mental weakness. Low discomfort tolerance. A mind that cannot sit with discomfort will always run from responsibility. And responsibility is where strength is built. Another dark truth: weak minds are not incapable. They are overloaded. Modern humans are constantly stimulated. Information, noise, opinions, comparison. The brain never rests, so it never integrates. An overloaded mind cannot think deeply. It reacts. Reaction replaces reflection, and reaction is weakness. Strong minds pause. Weak minds respond immediately. This is why most people argue emotionally, make impulsive decisions, and regret them later. They don't lack intelligence. They lack control. Now let's talk about dependency. Most people depend emotionally on something external: approval, validation, entertainment, relationships, identity. The moment that external source is removed, they collapse. This is why silence scares people. This is why being alone feels uncomfortable. This is why boredom feels painful, because their mind has never learned how to stand on its own. Dependency is not connection. It is weakness disguised as attachment. Another uncomfortable reality: most people outsource their thinking. They let news decide their opinions. They let trends decide their values. They let crowds decide what is right. This feels safe, but safety kills independence. Independent thinking requires friction, and friction is uncomfortable, so most people avoid it. Now observe this carefully. A weak mind seeks certainty. A strong mind tolerates uncertainty. Life is uncertain, but instead of adapting, most people demand guarantees. When guarantees disappear, so does their confidence. This is why panic spreads faster than truth. This is why fear dominates logic. Fear thrives in weak mental structures. Now here's the deepest layer. Most people are afraid of themselves, their thoughts, their emotions, their potential, so they stay distracted. Distraction is not relaxation, it is avoidance. And what you avoid controls you. Mental weakness is not about being soft. It is about being untrained, and an untrained mind will always be controlled by emotions, by circumstances, by other people. In the next part, we will go deeper. We will expose how emotional weakness is manufactured, why most people never develop inner strength, and how this weakness benefits systems of control. Remember this line: a mind that avoids discomfort will never develop power.
A mind that avoids discomfort will never develop power. Now let's go deeper. Mental weakness is not accidental, it is produced. Not by force, but by design. Emotional weakness is created by teaching people to escape instead of confront. From a young age, discomfort is treated like danger. Pain is treated like something abnormal. Struggle is treated like failure. So people learn to run, they distract themselves when emotions rise. They numb themselves when reality feels heavy. They replace thinking with stimulation. Over time, this creates a mind that cannot stay present during pressure. Pressure reveals structure, and weak structures collapse. Another layer of emotional weakness is constant reassurance. Most people are constantly told, "It's okay. Oh, it's okay, don't worry. You're fine as you..." Comforting words feel kind, but excessive reassurance removes urgency. Urgency is what sharpens the mind. Without urgency, the brain never learns to mobilize itself. Now observe this carefully. Strong emotions are not dangerous, unprocessed emotions are. Instead of teaching emotional regulation, people are taught emotional expression. Let it out. Say how you feel, react. Expression without control is not strength, it is release, and release trains impulsiveness. A person who reacts emotionally loses authority over their inner state. This creates predictability, and predictability is control. Another dark mechanism is comparison. Constant comparison weakens identity. When people measure themselves against others continuously, they lose internal reference. Their self-worth becomes unstable. Their confidence becomes conditional. Conditional confidence collapses under pressure. This is why most people need external validation to feel okay. And validation is addictive. The more you rely on it, the weaker your inner structure becomes. Now let's talk about emotional fear. Most people are not afraid of pain. They are afraid of feeling pain, so they avoid situations that could challenge their self-image. They avoid rejection, they avoid confrontation, they avoid failure. Avoidance feels safe, but it slowly shrinks the mind. The brain learns do not go there. And whatever you avoid becomes powerful over you. This is how fear becomes permanent. Another layer is identity fragility. Most people attach their identity to labels: job, status, beliefs, relationships. When those labels are threatened, they feel attacked, so they defend emotionally. A strong mind separates identity from circumstance. A weak mind fuses them together. Fusion creates fragility. Now here is where it becomes uncomfortable. Emotional weakness benefits systems. A population that reacts emotionally is easy to distract, easy to divide, easy to lead. Easy to lead. Emotionally unstable people do not question deeply. They respond loudly. Noise replaces thought, and silence disappears. This is not accidental. Weak minds consume more, complain more, and resist less. Now ask yourself, who benefits from your emotional reactions? Who benefits from your distraction? Who benefits from your dependence? Because weakness is profitable. In the next part, we will expose the role of fear, how it is used to limit mental expansion, and why most people never escape this psychological loop. Remember this line carefully. Anything that makes you emotionally reactive makes you controllable. A fear does not stop you. Obedience to fear does. Now we rebuild. Mental strength is not motivation. It is structure. Strong minds are not emotional. They are regulated. The first shift is this. Stop trying to eliminate fear. Learn to carry it. Fear is not the enemy. Lack of command is. Strong minds feel fear, but they do not negotiate with it. They move anyway. This is how fear loses authority. The second shift is discomfort training. Mental strength grows only where discomfort exists. Every time you stay in an uncomfortable situation without escaping, your mind adapts. Adaptation is power. This is why discipline matters. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. When you do what is difficult voluntarily, your mind learns. I am in control. Control builds confidence. Not words, not affirmations. Experience. The third shift is silence. Weak minds explain themselves. Strong minds observe. Silence creates distance. Distance creates clarity. When you stop reacting immediately, you reclaim authority over your inner world. Most manipulation fails in silence because silence removes emotional hooks. The fourth shift is identity separation. Strong minds do not attach their worth to outcomes, opinions, or labels. They see roles as temporary. They see criticism as information. They see failure as data, nothing personal, nothing emotional. This emotional neutrality is not coldness, it is stability. And stability is rare. The fifth shift is responsibility. Strong minds do not blame. They analyze. Blame weakens the mind because it gives power away. Responsibility strengthens the mind because it brings power back. When you say, "This is my responsibility," you regain control. Even over things you didn't choose. This is the hardest step, and this is why most people avoid it. Now understand this. Mental strength is lonely at first. When you stop reacting like everyone else, people feel uncomfortable. They may misunderstand you. They may label you cold. They may resist your change. This is normal. Weak systems reject strong minds, but over time, strength creates gravity. People feel safe around stability. They respect calm. They follow certainty. Now here is the final truth. Most people will never become mentally strong, not because they can't, but because strength demands discomfort every single day, and most people choose ease. If you choose differently, your life will feel different, quieter, heavier, clearer. You will react less, observe more, speak carefully, move deliberately. This is not dominance over others. This is dominance over yourself, and that is the highest form of power. Final line. A strong mind is built in silence, tested in discomfort, and revealed under pressure. Anything that makes you emotionally reactive makes you controllable. Now we talk about fear. Fear is not just an emotion, it is a system, a loop. And once a mind is trapped inside this loop, it stops expanding. Most people think fear protects them. In reality, fear limits them. Fear narrows perception. It reduces options. It simplifies reality into two choices, safe or dangerous. And when the mind operates in survival mode, growth disappears. This is the fear loop. Fear appears. The mind seeks safety. Safety leads to avoidance. Avoidance strengthens fear. And the cycle repeats. Over time, the brain learns, do less, risk less, stay small. This is not caution. This is mental contraction. Strong minds expand under pressure. Weak minds shrink. Another dark truth. Fear does not come from reality, it comes from interpretation. Two people face the same situation. One grows, one collapses. The difference is not strength, it is perception. Weak minds imagine worst-case outcomes and treat them as certainty. Strong minds accept uncertainty and move anyway. Most people wait until fear disappears. It never does. Fear only shrinks through action. But action requires courage, and courage requires discomfort. So most people stay stuck. Now let's talk about fear of judgment. This is one of the strongest psychological chains. Humans are social beings. Rejection once meant death. That ancient wiring still exists. So the mind constantly asks, what will they think? This question controls behavior more than logic. People silence themselves. They limit their ambition. They hide their real thoughts. Not because they are wrong, but because they are afraid. Fear of judgment creates self-censorship, and self-censorship kills authenticity. Without authenticity, the mind splits, one version for the world, one version hidden inside. This internal split drains mental energy, and drained minds are weak minds. Another layer of the fear loop is fear of responsibility. Responsibility means I cannot blame anyone else. This terrifies most people, so they stay dependent. They wait for instructions. They wait for permission. Permission-based minds never develop authority. Authority starts internally. Now here's something most people never realize. Fear loves familiarity. People stay in painful situations because they are familiar. Bad habits, toxic environments, limiting identities. The unknown feels scarier than the known pain. So people choose suffering they understand over freedom they don't. This is psychological imprisonment. Another dark mechanism. Fear is reinforced by imagination. The mind rehearses failure, replays embarrassment, predicts rejection. But imagination without control becomes self-sabotage. The brain cannot tell the difference between imagined fear and real danger, so it reacts the same. Heart rate rises, muscles tense, decision-making collapses, and the person retreats. This is why most people live far below their potential, not because they can't, but because fear has trained them not to try. Now pause and reflect. How many opportunities did fear close for you? How many versions of yourself never existed because of it? In the final part, we will break this loop. We will talk about how strong minds are rebuilt, how fear is reprogrammed, and why most people never reach this stage.